In the book of Genesis, chapter 3, we find the account of humanity's fall into sin. Adam and Eve disobeyed God's command not to eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil after being deceived by the serpent. Following this disobedience, God pronounced specific punishments on the serpent, the woman, and the man. These judgments carried both immediate and long-term consequences. The punishment of the serpent, Genesis chapter 3, verses 14 and 15. God addresses the serpent first. The serpent, often understood as Satan or as a symbol of evil, is cursed above all animals. Physical curse. On your belly you will go, and dust you will eat all the days of your life. This implies that the serpent would crawl on the ground in humiliation, a marked change in its status. Some interpret this to signify a loss of whatever form or stature it originally had. Enmity between the serpent and humanity. God declares, "I will put enmity between you and the woman, and between your offspring and hers." This highlights an ongoing spiritual conflict between Satan and humanity, symbolized by the serpent and Eve's descendants. The Proto-Evangelium Genesis chapter 3 verse 15 contains a promise of redemption. He will crush your head, and you will strike his heel. This is often viewed as the first prophecy of Christ's victory over Satan, pointing to Jesus' ultimate triumph through his death and resurrection. The punishment of the woman, Genesis chapter 3 verse 16. Next, God speaks to Eve, outlining the consequences of her actions. Pain in childbearing. God says, "I will make your pains in childbearing very severe. With painful labor you will give birth to children." This punishment emphasizes the physical and emotional struggles tied to motherhood, symbolizing the broader struggles of life. Relational struggle with her husband. Your desire will be for your husband, and he will rule over you. This speaks to a distortion in the marital relationship. Many interpret this as a struggle for control or dominance between the sexes, introducing tension where harmony was originally intended. The punishment of the man, Genesis chapter 3 verses 17 and 19. Finally, God turns to Adam. Because Adam listened to his wife and ate the forbidden fruit, his punishment focuses on his primary role, working the ground. Cursed ground. God declares, "Cursed is the ground because of you. Through painful toil you will eat food from it all the days of your life." Work, once fulfilling and joyful, becomes laborious and frustrating. The earth now resists humanity's efforts, producing thorns and thistles. Struggle for sustenance. Adam must work hard to survive, tilling the soil to produce food. This signifies humanity's dependence on and struggle with the natural world. Mortality. God says, "By the sweat of your brow you will eat your food until you return to the ground, since from it you were taken. For dust you are, and to dust you will return." This marks the introduction of death as the ultimate consequence of sin. Humanity, created from dust, will return to dust, underscoring human frailty. Broader implications. These punishments aren't just about Adam, Eve, and the serpent. They affect all of creation. The ground is cursed, human relationships are strained, and sin and death enter the world. Yet even in judgment, God provides hope and grace. He promises a Redeemer, Genesis chapter 3 verse 15. He clothes Adam and Eve with garments of skin, symbolizing his provision and the first act of sacrifice. Conclusion. The punishments in Genesis 3 reflect both the justice and mercy of God. While sin brought pain, struggle, and death into the world, God also initiated a plan for redemption. These verses remind us of humanity's fallen nature, but also point us to the hope of restoration through Christ.